Hello, this is Will from Will to Trade, and today is Saturday, June 11th. I want to talk about the stock EGRX. We are looking at the screen here of EGRX from yesterday, Friday, June 10th, and the move that it made. If you are not familiar with Will to Trade, you can check us out at www.willtotrade.com. We do run a chat room 5 days a week that's really open 24/7. You can fill out the form, get a 2-week trial, and we'll get you all set up here. So if you're new to our room, go ahead and take a look at this video and see what we're talking about. If you're in the room, I mean, this video is really specifically for you guys. I want to talk about how to trade a stock like EGRX. Yesterday was a really tough day of trading. There wasn't a ton of trade or stocks that really moved, but EGRX was one that moved. I want to give a shout out to one of our members who actually saw EGRX moving up. I think he probably saw this one before I did, so way to go. Which really proves my concept that it doesn't matter if a stock is, $1 priced or $5 priced, or in this case even $50 priced. If a stock is making moves and there's a percentage gain to be had, there's a percentage gain to be had. If you have a smaller account, let's just say your account's like $1,000, give or take, and you have one of those brokers, I'm not going to mention the names, but one of those brokers that has either free trades or trades for $1, you absolutely positively could trade a stock like EGRX. This is specifically for any traders that have those accounts. Now, I understand if you have an account where you have to pay like $5 or $10 per trade, it's a little different situation. But if you have free trades or a dollar trade, and you're saying, well, I can't trade EGRX because it's out of my price range. I disagree, because even if you bought 10 shares of EGRX and it went up $5, you could be making a $50 gain. $50. Again, it's all relative. To some traders, they're not excited about a $50 gain. They may say, well, I only get out of bed for a $500 gain. If you're those kind of traders, you probably would have traded more shares of EGRX. But there's some traders out there who have a daily goal of $50. And that's a fine goal to have because it's about their percentage gain. I mean, if every day you're making $50, in a month you're going to make 1,000. Maybe next month you'll make 2,000, and so on and so on. So to me, it's about the percentage gains, and I want to really show this particular stock. There's been a lot of stocks lately that have done this kind of a pattern, and I want to really show it. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or $50 or even 10 cents, but I want to really show the pattern here of what it did and different strategies of how we could trade it. So there's a lot of stocks that are doing this thing where they're kind of flat or they're kind of going down in the first part of the day. Look at here, almost no volume in the day. This is absolutely not on our scanners at this part of the day. Pre-market doesn't even really exist. I mean, this is not a gapper at all. There's no momentum going on here at all. It's not on our scanner at all. And then it spikes up due to some news. Again, if I'm looking at this purely from a technical point of view, I don't even care what the news is. I mean, with all due respect to EGRX, I'm sure the news is pretty exciting, and I'm sure they're doing some great things. But I'm just looking at this, which is a reaction to the news. So it spikes up and then it halts, and this separation here is the halt. So, how do we trade stocks that go into a halt? It's tricky, right? You have to have a strategy. I'm just going to outline like 4 or 5 different strategies, and you can pick a strategy that you like the best. In the room, I give alerts, and I try to help out the traders. Hey, buy this here, sell that there. But more importantly, more specifically than giving alerts, I like to really try to develop the traders to become independent traders. So they can be aware of different strategies, and they can pick one or a few that they feel really comfortable with, and they can develop it on their own. So on this particular chart, I drew a bunch of lines. The lines are relatively simple numbers here. There's a $50 line, there's a $52 line, there's a $54 line, and this is actually 55 and a penny. Why is this 55 and a penny? Because this particular candle here, spikes all the way up to 55 even. And then I figured, well, this is just a penny more than this particular high of day. So I talked in some other videos about apex points. Depending on how you look at this, whether you look at it at a 5-minute or a 1-minute view. So we'll start in the 5-minute view, then I'll go to the 1-minute view. You're going to have a different opinion or an idea of where you think the apex point is. Some traders may look at this in the 5-minute view and say, right here, $52, there's an apex point. What's the argument for why this could be an apex point? Well, it's above this candle over here, this 5-minute candle, and it's certainly above the stem of this candle here, pardon me, but it's just it's in the middle of the wick. And as I personally say, wicks are tricks, so we're going to kind of ignore this wick. It's above this here, and it's above this here, so now it's like a new blast-off zone. Other traders may say, well, we need a little bit more confirmation, and 54, because it's above all of these candles inside here. It's still in the wick, and you'll see in the 1 minute view how 54 could possibly be a stronger argument for an apex point. And others would say, well, I want a full-blown confirmation. I want 55.01. That's my apex point. And others would say, you know what? I want to do a dip buy. I'm going to buy here at 50. So let's take a look at the 1 minute chart. But just be aware that 52 here is clearly above this wick. It'll change when we look at the 1 minute view. So 1 minute and 5 minute views is how I look at my charts. And again, pre-market activity, I mean, it's just a blip. It's like, 13,000 shares. But here we have, 60,000, 70,000 or something. So again, let's see. Yeah, that's probably a good way of looking at it. So it's flat. It shoots up. It goes into a halt. And what do we do? Now, some traders want to trade in this section right here after the halt. And I'm telling you, this is the more advanced time to trade. This is where the pros are at, because you just don't know. You just don't know if it's gonna shoot up and fall right back down. You don't know if it's gonna open up and explode. You don't know if it's gonna actually not even open up. If it's gonna open maybe down even. This is really like a really challenging time to trade, in my opinion. Imagine, you see this candle, you're like, all right, great, we're getting somewhere. You see this candle, you're like, okay, great, we're getting somewhere. And then you buy right here at $54. You're like, okay, it's going to go. You buy right here at $54, and maybe you set this line at 52 as your stop. And then, taps 55, and then it comes down. You're like, what? And it comes down, and then you get stopped out. And then you're going to get frustrated. You're trading the right stock. This is the right stock, EGRX, but you're trading at the wrong time. You want to trade the right stock, you want to buy in at the right price, and then you want to sell at the right price. So this immediately after the halt is just only for the pros. So just remember that. Immediately after the halt is really for the pros. And most, not all, but most of these stocks really end up doing a similar pattern. They shoot up, they get halted, they gap up, they kind of go up for a little bit, and they pull back, and then they make another little push. Not everyone, but a lot of them. So if you see this pattern again, you'll know what to do. So this is for the pros, but we would rather wait. So it goes up, it pulls back, and then I have this $50 line. Again, an argument could be made that it should be 55.26. An argument could be made maybe 55.51. This is not exact, but this is just or 50.51. I'm sorry. This is just an idea of 50. This is not really an apex point buying. This is more of a dip buying or a base buying, because you see here it kind of consolidates at the $50 mark. There are some traders that want to buy towards the base, and this isn't even the lowest of the low. I mean, it goes all the way down to 48.25. And again, trying to predict the lowest of the low, that's going to be challenging. You could maybe buy right here at 49, but I said 50 just because it's an even number. So you see these candles go down. You say, okay, we're getting somewhere. Maybe we're getting somewhere. Okay, pulls back. Okay, I'll buy at 50. And again, it could be 50 to even to 51. I mean, there's no exact point. But if you buy at $50, you could set your mark to sell 10% up and sell at say 55 and get a 10% gain. You don't know how far it's going to run, but one thing you know for sure, if it's a stock in the 50-something digits and it's a Friday, middle of the day on a relatively red day, this is not going to run 100%. This is not going to run 50%. This is not going to run 30 or 20%. If you get 10%, you're doing great. So from the 50 point, you could do 10. You could do a little bit more, but it's safe just to calculate on your 10%, and then just put your order in here. Okay, sell limit 55, and if it goes up a little bit above, that's okay. Let it do what it do. It's really fine. Because you just want to get your 10%. So this next line here is the 54, and I think we illustrated in the 5-minute view. I'm sorry, 52. This is 52. I think we illustrated in the 5-minute view how 52 was in the middle of this wick over here, and then an argument could be made. Well, it's not like a full apex point, but it's it's above this base here. It's a nice round number of 52. I just want to jump in at 52. I'm kind of looking at somewhat like an upward momentum move here, and that would be like a valid argument. So again, very simply, You could buy 52. You could add 10%, and you're going to get 57.20, which is right here, which is right there. And don't get greedy. Don't say, I want 15% or 20% or 30%, because you sell right in there, and you only have like 2 or 3 more candles where it does something a little bit more. You're not trying to sell at the top. You just want to get, piece of the move, and 10% from here. That's a solid gain on a $52 buy. Solid gain. Okay, now it gets a little bit more interesting. Now, this point and this point could be considered, full apex points. And again, I think even by some of my definitions, it's above the stems. So this is what, like 54.23 or 54.35 or something. So, again, these are not exact numbers. It's just ideas, right? So the idea is, okay, let's buy at 54, just again, because it's a simple number. And you don't know this going into it. We know it now. But somehow you have to have the instinct or the knowledge to realize, okay, from this base area, yeah, there's probably a 10% move. But from, towards this really an apex point, towards this somewhat at the top over here on a $50-something stock in the middle of a Friday, I don't think I can get 10%. Somehow, I can't really teach that to you, but somehow you just have to kind of understand that. And you would have to just kind of calculate 5%. So 5% from 54 is 56.70, which takes you to like right about here. But that's a pretty cool trade because you're in like 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and you grab 5%. And again, you may be watching this video and go, 5%? I mean, come on, who cares? Why do I want to get 5%? But look, you get 5% twice in a day, you made 10% in the day, and 10%, in my opinion, is a fantastic day. So this is a trade opportunity, just something to be aware of. And the last one is 55.01. And 55.01 is depending on your point of view of trading, it could either be like the riskiest, silliest time to buy because you think, why would you want to buy, towards the top? Look at this, it topped out. It couldn't really do much more than 55.01. You're buying way too high. Or other traders may say, oh no, 55.01, that's the best time to buy because I want to stay away from all this. I don't know what this is going to do. I want to see a confirmation higher than the previous high. It only got to 55. So if it gets to 55.01, it's breaking through to another level. And I'm just going to tell you, just because we know where it went, you only can get 5% there. So 55.01 plus 5% is 57.76, which is going to take you to pretty much like right there, somewhere. Pardon me. No, I stand corrected. It's going to take you to this candle. So it's like a 1, 2, 3 candle move. And again, look, this is 3 minutes, 3 candles, 5%. So different arguments. Some people would say, hey, this is my favorite kind of trade because I'm in and out of this trade so fast. I don't have to sit through, 10, 15 minutes of candles. That's too nerve-wracking for me. I'm in and out. I was thinking 3 minutes. I made my 5%. And then other traders may even trade differently. I'm not trying to overwhelm you with different ideas, but other traders may jump in here at $50, and grab 5%, right? Grab 5% and then sell maybe here. So they jump in, jump out. Okay, I grab my 5%, and they're waiting for another opportunity. Jump in, jump out, and grab another 5%. So, when you look at this whole thing, and I mean from like here to here, right, which is about like a half an hour or so. Just this section of it, right? Just from there to there, or from there to there. There's lots of different ways that these trades could happen, and all I'm trying to do in this video. And all I'm really trying to do in the room is just presenting different trade ideas, different trade plans, different trade strategies. I mean, look, if you're a real pro, you could trade in and out of here for 5% easily, wait for it to fall, trade in and out of there for another 5%, wait for it to break the high, and trade in and out of there for another 5%. I mean, if you are a pro top shelf trader, you could squeeze 15% out of this whole entire move, 3 minutes in, 5 minutes in, 3 minutes in. So, you're in and out like in 3, 6, 12, like 17, 18 minutes. Jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, 15% in the middle of a Friday in a $50-something stock. But what triggers this is the shoot up and the halt. And then once you're in the halt, you better be ready. If you don't know what to do in the middle of the halt, you could buy here and then get stopped out and get burned. If you don't know what to do in the halt, you may buy late and then, oh, it's going and buy here and then it falls and then really get burned. So hopefully this video gave you some ideas of how you can make these kind of more advanced trades. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you love the video, hit subscribe. If you want to join our room, like I say, we do have the free trial for a couple weeks. Go to the site, willtotrade.com, fill out the form. We'll get you all taken care of. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday. Bye.